High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships.
It is Rivalry Saturday here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. And from Don Snyder Stadium, one of Long Island's greatest rivalries. It is maize and blue, and it is Kelly green. The colors run deep, and they definitely clash here on a Saturday. Massapequa, Farmingdale, right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Well, a pleasant good afternoon, everyone. Dylan Butler alongside Brian Soper for the 64th edition of one of Long Island's greatest rivalries. And there's so many storylines, Soap, that we can get to. The rivalry itself, a rematch of last year's county championship game, which was an epic finish. We'll get to more of that. Also, listen, the winner of this likely gets the #1 seed in the postseason, which is also very, very important. But there is only one question on the mind of anyone from these two communities that are 5 miles apart. Will number 21 in Kelly Green play? Josh Kama, obviously a Thorpe Award, probably favorite at this point through 5 weeks of the regular season. So you have our answer.
Yeah, 495 has a different meaning here on Long Island now. 495 yards for him this season against Oceanside. He's going to play, right? There was a contingency plan. There was a plan B in place, but 21's going to suit up, and that makes the Dalers smile.
He was limited in the beginning of the week. No contact practice on Thursday with that upper body injury. Friday, a full go. And then there you see the leader, one of the leaders of this Dalers team, 21 in green, Josh Kama, ready to go to take on the Chiefs. Well, we start with the visitors from Massapequa, which is about a 14-minute drive, give or take a few lights, from Massapequa High School to Farmingdale. And for these Chiefs, listen, 5-0 on this season, defending champions, 28-1 in their last 29 games. Yet somehow, some way, Kevin Schippo says we've flown under the radar this year, right? New personnel, the stars of last year are gone, but these guys, they just keep on trucking.
Yeah, you graduated over 60 touchdowns, and you're still averaging 45 points a game. For 3 years combined here, averaging 40 points a game. The Massapequa Chiefs offense is absolutely rolling. Gargiulo at quarterback hasn't missed a beat.
Yeah, it is the definition of a program, right? And a system that certainly works. You plug in the different names and athletes, they somehow find a way, right? Do these Chiefs. And two guys they'll lean on here this afternoon are our two players to watch for Massapequa. And we could have picked a number of guys, right? But we went with Cole Vialta on the left, his brother, right? A huge part of the last couple of championship runs for these Chiefs. And on the other side, a terrific linebacker in Anthony Danello.
Yeah, both these guys play both ways for the Chiefs. Cole Vialta, 5 touchdowns on the year. Big, rangy, can go up and get that jump ball. And Danello, unbelievable blocker, great hands, can catch it if thrown to him. And man, has he been playing some great defense, always has a timely interception or a sack, right? Massapequa was complete. Special teams, offense, defense, that's why they're on this kind of roll.
Massapequa, the preseason #2 seed, the top seed in the preseason are these Dalers from Farmingdale. And they too entered this game 5-0 on the year. And listen, so much of the story is about Josh Kama, and absolutely understandably, right? But it's also about a senior line that is big, that is tough, that is senior laden, who have helped lead the way for these Dalers through these first 5 weeks.
Yeah, no slouches on offense, averaging over 40 points a game as well. Yeah, senior offensive line, Jack McCarthy, Jordan Petzold, they have dreams of playing at the next level. But right, you have Theo Dates, not a bad 1A at running back. This is going to be one heck of a game, especially defensively trying to stop these high-powered offenses.
And we'll show you now the Dalers players to watch. And again, there was a question about Kama there. You see his numbers on the year. Another great addition for this game. First game back from a preseason collarbone injury, Michael Galgano, an absolute leader of this Dalers team.
Yeah, he's back, right? And this quarterback, right, coming into the season. Perhaps some packages for him today. The absolute leader of the defense. The Dalers defense has had some trouble on the back end. That's going to stop now with Galgano. And 21, are you kidding me with the stats? It's not even video game-like. It's playing on rookie mode, what he's doing out there. But having him back, but again, there is that plan B. If things don't go well, right, there's bigger fish to fry in this with the playoffs coming up. Dalers are ready to go with whatever comes out of today health-wise.
And so, too, are those Chiefs as they are making their way to the fields. And Soapy mentioned, right, 64th edition of this rivalry. Massapequa's won the last few, and there's not many times where you have a stretch where one team wins. It's kind of like one team wins one week, the next one wins in the playoffs, but there you see some of the tail of the tape all time for these two storied programs.
Yeah, save some Rutgers Cups for the rest of the Long Island. Right, unbelievable, undefeated season, Long Island titles, Nassau titles. Right, Coach Shippos in his 15th year, but doing a tremendous job. And, you know, Buddy Krummenacher, enough said with what he brings to the Farmingdale tradition. Two programs, two great alumni bases. Whatever sport it is, Dalers Chiefs is just different.
Look at that view there. It is the storied marching band of Farmingdale. Daler strong, certainly, and huge numbers for them as well this year and every year. Well, we mentioned, right, last year's epic showdown, and we have some moving images from that one. Soap, we head back to Stewart Stadium, and there is Josh Kama right there. 59-yard touchdown run. He puts the Dalers in front in this one, and Kama wouldn't be done. This one, a 67-yard run. Ran for 313 yards. Little break dancing in the end zone. But then here comes Diesso to Danello. 5-yard touchdown. Now Diesso, fourth down, one of a few big fourth down plays for the senior QB. Dives in the end zone. An 11-yard score. We head to overtime where Josh Kama gets in another touchdown, 20 yards out. The two-point conversion was no good. Now here comes Tyler Vialta on 4th and 7. Finds Diesso. It's the Chiefs special. And then that just ties the game. You need Chris Bichetta to put it through the uprights. The PAT is good.
Yeah, how about Diesso, right? All 5 touchdowns accounted for. One, you know, he ran it in, he threw some in, and he caught a touchdown. I'm not sure if that's ever been done, but he's not here. But number 16, Gargiulo, is filling in quite well.
It is Massapequa. It is Farmingdale. It is one of Long Island's greatest rivalries. More next on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships.
Help keep Varsity Media's broadcasts free on YouTube by considering an advertising sponsorship. Our coverage of local games helps local businesses get visibility in the community. To learn more about our sponsorship packages and rates, email Ben at varsitymedia.net. Now is a great time.
And back here at Don Snyder Stadium, there you see our two head coaches. On the left, Kevin Shippos. How about a record of 111-38 in his 15th season? 1997 graduate of Baldwin, where he was an outstanding wrestler and football player. Went on and played at Penn State on the right side. Almost no words, right, for a legend like Buddy Krummenacher. He's 2 wins away from tying the guy whose stadium this is, Don Snyder, for all-time Farmingdale wins, one of the greatest all-time head coaches in Long Island history.
An absolute legend, and Shippos, a legend in the making. What he's been able to do in his 15 seasons at Massapequa.
So those are your 2 head coaches. As the captains are being introduced to this crowd. So we spoke with both of these head coaches leading into this one. They identified their keys to victory in this one.
Yeah, very similar, right? Massapequa wants to limit their explosive plays, whether it's Kama or Theodate, 50-yard runs galore. You got to stop that. Got to control the ball on offense. Let's keep the Dalers off the field offensively and win the turnover battle. That was the biggest thing last year, right, was Massapequa won the turnover battle in both games, led to victories. Farmingdale, make them drive the ball. You know, there are plenty of big-time plays, long-distance plays for the Chiefs. Win the turnover battle and get off the field on 4th down. At Hofstra, the Dalers just could not get off the field in 4th down. Even the Chiefs' special play was a 4th and 7. Dalers need to get off the field, stop this Massapequa offense, and limit their turnovers.
Yeah, and a few key turnovers there, right? In that county championship game, you see the temperature, absolute picturesque fall afternoon for this great rivalry. 62 degrees, not much of a wind in the sky, so the kickers will certainly like that. As you see our view from the end zone here at Don Snyder Stadium as the band, it takes them a while to walk off the field. Huge band here at Farmingdale High School. There's a good look at Buddy Krummenacher on that far sideline, or the end zone, excuse me. He's got his game face on. This part of the Marines' Great American Rivalry Series, as it is every year, as now the captains will go out to midfield for the coin toss. These guys, so what makes this, one of the things that makes this rivalry so great is these guys have played against each other since they were like 6, 7 years old, right? It was, whether you're with the Mustangs at Massapequa, all the Hawks here in Farmingdale, it is all about their towns, it's all about the tradition, and it's all about those colors for both of those programs.
It means a lot, right? Chiefs, Dalers, right? Dalers for life, Chiefs for life, the alumni, the parents, the community, love sports, love football. This is as good as it gets.
And right in the middle there, I love that. You see 65 in Kelly Green. That's Wilson Quintanilla, one of the captains of this team, a guy who was an absolute force on the defensive line. Unfortunately suffered an injury early in this season that limits him, and he will not be able to play he can't play football. He's an outstanding wrestler. He won't be able to wrestle. But the Dalers say, we have a new coach on our sideline as well.
That's what it's all about. He's been helping that D-line. He's an absolute game wrecker on the line. Cheer, to him for a speedy recovery. Love to see him play football, but unbelievable story of him, how he's helping out these linemen and giving him his knowledge.
So 2 out of the last 3 meetings between these two schools have gone to overtime, right? Tremendous in a rivalry like this, and Massapequa has won the last 3. We mentioned about some of the storylines, and one of the biggest ones coming into this one is the winner of this game has that inside track for the #1 overall seed in the postseason. And why is that instrumental? Because it's so top-heavy, Conference 1 this year, that the #2 seed will likely have to play Ocean. Again, there could be upsets, certainly in the quarterfinals, but should the seeds hold true, if you're the 1 seed, you have a certainly more manageable path to the championship game And if you got to battle Oceanside in the semifinals.
For sure, Oceanside's, and any of those 3 teams can win on any given day. Port Washington, no slouch at the 4, but we've seen so far, a shutout win for the Chiefs against Port Washington. So, the 1, 2, 3, and then you have your 4. You definitely would like to win today and get that advantage, and perhaps that's why we're seeing Kama suiting up today.
How about we take a look, Soap, at the last 5 meetings between these two. You see that last year, that overtime win in the Conference 1 championship game. And then Pequot, a year ago, we were on the call on that one. Rainy Saturday afternoon in Massapequa. Chiefs winning that one fairly comfortably. The last Steelers win, you have to go back. You see that to the 2022 season.
Yeah, that 9-28 game, special teams played a big role in that. Some turnovers by the Dalers. I think a pick 6 early in that game as well. So Dalers definitely, with this home crowd on their side, I think they want to get off to a really fast start.
So Chris Bichetta will kick off for Massapequa. Deep for the Dalers. You've got Patrick Vidot. He's just back as well. First game back since that Oceanside win at the start of the year.
Yeah, Vidot brings that explosive speed, in specials as well as on offense. Special teams are going to be huge today, right? You want to value the ball. Field position is going to be important.
And we are off the 64th edition of this rivalry. And it is Vidot at the 1-yard line. Comes up this near sideline, and he's tackled at about the 19-yard line. The opposing 7, Cole Vialta, in on the tackle. So at the start of the year, the idea was Michael Galgano would be your starting quarterback for Farmingdale. We mentioned the collarbone injury, so that means it opened up an opportunity for a special sophomore. And Nick Toto, the idea beginning of the year was, hey, I'm going to be the JV quarterback, and I'm going to wait my chance. Well, guess what? Your chance is now, and he has been outstanding this season.
Yeah, JV no more, right? Pete Nazario, one of the better, quarterback coaches on the island, says this is the most talented sophomore we've had here at Farmingdale. Those are big words, right? He's done it with his arm. Very accurate, but very smart and seasoned for just a sophomore.
So the Dalers will start off on their own 19-yard line. And good to see Josh Kama in there for play number 1. Handoff up the middle, and it goes to Kama. We meet the starting offense for the Dalers. In addition to Toto and Kama, it's Theodate, your wide receivers, Watros and Mastrelli, tight end Morales. And how about these big boys up front? McCarthy, Petzold, Kunz, Thomas, and last but certainly not least, Queen. 4 of those 5, Queen the one who wasn't, returning starters on the offensive line.
Yeah, it's not fair. You got a two-headed monster at running back, and you got 5 seniors bringing that experience and that thunder on the offensive line.
2nd and 2 for the Dalers. Again, Takama, patient, hits the hole. He gets hit hard as well. I think he's shy of that first down marker. Let's meet the starting defense for Massapequa. Up front, you've got Chabis, Tarasi, Mulligan, and Van Schuyler. Your linebackers are Danilo, Wieserak, and Tarasi. At the corners, Ippolito and Brooks. And at the safety positions, you've got Petalino and Vialta.
Yeah, we had a nice meeting there. First time, Wieserak and Kama. Look for that all day long, right? Danilo and Wieserak, 2 of the hardest hitting defensive players in the county, meeting Kama in the hole, but first down.
So 1st and 10 from the 29-yard line.
Yeah, just McCarthy and Petzold next to each other, 285, 275.
And now you got Theodate. Toto looked his way, sidearms it, and he finds Watros.
Yeah, Watros is a sophomore, great size, 6'1", real talented athlete. Been on the varsity lacrosse team since the 8th grade. 5 catches on the year, make that 6.
Yeah, unbelievable. He's just a sophomore, right? Gets out to the 34-yard line, a gain of 5 on that first down toss.
Yeah, Colin Jones and the staff just love Toto's confidence as a sophomore. Doesn't get rattled.
Toto rolls, now tucks it under. That's a nice angled run towards the sideline. That is a part of his game. 14th carry this year. Has a touchdown on the year, 74 yards as well.
Yeah, just, you know, they're living behind the left side of that line from Kunz to Petzold, McCarthy, both looking to be college offensive linemen. It's a good place to run behind if you're a sophomore.
Yeah, you've got McCarthy at left tackle at 6'2", 270, Petzold at 6'1", 285, and Kunz snap it at 6'1", 220.
Yeah, Kunz is that guy, the smartest player on the offense, according to the coaching staff. Kind of all the calls and protections go through him.
3rd and 1.
Galgano.
We thought we would see a series or two for him, and he gets past the 40-yard line to move the chains.
Yeah, good to see him back. UMass lacrosse commit, defender, long stick midi. Runs the defense for the Dalers in lacrosse as well as on defense in football. But again, slated to be the starting quarterback this year. See him find some space, bounce off some tackles for a first down.
And so make no mistake, in the whole week while there was a question about Kama, for the Dalers, you had that supreme confidence that your leader was back as well in Galgano.
Yeah, huge boost. The staff said even at practice, just the energy was different with number 8 back.
So 1st and 10 from the 40-yard line for Farmingdale. Toto back in at QB. Hands off, up the middle. That is Theodate. And it's a short gain for Jovins. A week ago, again, with Kama going out injured early in that first quarter, Theodate had 12 carries for 191 yards and 5 touchdowns. Listen, it's hard to replace a Kama, but they are super confident in having Theodate, if needed be that featured running back.
Yeah, and he's a great blocker, Theodate. 9 touchdowns on the year. He's also a weapon in the passing game with 8 catches. Look for both of those guys to be involved today heavily.
He got a 3-yard gain, so this is 2nd and 7.
Yeah, that was Danello on the tackle. Big stick by him.
Mastrelli in motion. It's a draw to Kama. Kama runs that way, and Kama's loose. There is a flag on the field, and Kama edges himself out with Cole Vialta chasing him. But our referee, the venerable Bob Miller, I think this one's coming back.
Yeah, you just see how dangerous this running game is for the Dalers. Big plays, but this one's coming back.
And you see the cool move by the officials, right? The pink flags for Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Just a great atmosphere here today. Packed stands.
Here's another look. Soap, did you see the...
Yeah, right there.
Yep.
You saw that on the right side of that line. Freed Kama.
So this will back up Farmingdale.
Yeah, that was a pretty obvious hold there.
When I asked the official up here, I said, do you have the card to see who our referee or our officials are today? And the first name you see is Bob Miller. I'm like, yep, it's a big game. So this will be a 2nd and 18. You have twin receivers at the bottom of your screen. Sean Schumeyer as well as Mastrelli. Toto goes to Waltros again, and a terrific tackle by Vialta.
Yeah, Vialta, nice job. They trying to get Waltros in some space, little like kind of screen, bit of a pick type play on the outside. Short tackle by Vialta, absolutely does it all for the Chiefs.
I love that he's got this season to get out of his brother's shadow, right? He is the main Vialta on this team. Tyler right now playing football up at St. Anselm.
Yeah, I think he just had some surgery, so we shout out to him. Rest up, get better.
So a 3rd and 13 here for the Dalers. This is their first drive, and a good one to this point. Certainly have eaten up a lot of the clock here. There's the fake. Here's Galgano under pressure. Tucks it under, looks for blockers, and then he is eaten up by a number of Chiefs. Little trick play in the books, and Massapequa snuffed that one out good.
Yeah, Jack Mulligan, one of the sophomore, 6'3", 200. I think he makes the final tackle, but great job by Massapequa keeping that lane discipline, right, not over pursuing. You see the package, little package for Galgano. Nice job. There's Mulligan, Danello, bunch of Chief hats to the ball.
So normally it is Kama to punt, but it is Theodate to do so. Gets a nice one off. Vialta calls a fair catch at the 25-yard line. So the Massapequa offense will take the field for the first time this afternoon. And they are led out there by number 16 in white, Luke Gargiulo. Hey, once upon a time, Dad Rich was slinging the pigskin for the guys in Kelly Green. But now it's Luke's opportunity for the rival Chiefs, and he has done an outstanding job. Look at the completion numbers. That's 81% for the first-year starting quarterback.
He has the ability to run and pass it. He's been off to a tremendous start, leading this offense, and you know, some big shoes to fill as a quarterback for Massapequa.
I would think that Rich's allegiance is now more for his son.
Yeah, Rich is a longtime coach, coached lacrosse, played lacrosse at Hofstra.
Handoff comes this way. It's Petalino. Nothing doing for Petalino. A terrific tackle by Thomas Duffy. We meet the starters offensively, joining Gargiulo and Petalino. Burns, Vialta, and Farley are your receivers. Danello at tight end. A pretty good offensive line for the Chiefs as well, right? Mulligan, Wieserak, Van Skyler, Tarasi, and Aiden Alonzo, the sophomore, getting the start today with Lucas Benucci a little bit banged up.
Yeah, how about that play by Duffy, right? DN, 6'1", actually lived in the weight room this offseason. You see it.
We go back to Petalino, finds a hole, pushes himself forward, dives past the 35-yard line. Let's meet the starters defensively for the Dalers. Up front, you've got Morales, Bolello, and Thomas, along with Theodate, a four-man front now at the start this time of the year. Galgano, Waltrus, and Kunz at linebackers, along with Mistrelli. Your corners are Vidot and McClune, and Ive Mills is your free safety.
Yeah, the Dalers come in giving up 25.2 points a game on defense. That's unheard of in Dalerland, but Galgano's back and perhaps looking to trim that number starting today.
And you see him, the last man there of the Dalers defense, but there goes Petalino running right by Galgano. Now they're in a foot race. Petalino kicks it outside. Some terrific blocking upfield by Tyler Burns. First big play of the game goes to the Chiefs.
Like you said, big plays. You need blocking by everyone. The Chiefs are the best blocking team at the wide receiver I've seen all year. Absolute pancake block on the line. I think that was Wieserak. Petalino's off to the races. Right, he's got about 4.7, 4.6 speed. You see it on display there. Unbelievable job. Big plays happen with great blocking downfield. Tyler Burns, one of the best to do it.
And did you see what Petalino did there, too? He picked out Burns, right? He ran towards him and allowed Burns to be that kind of lead race car, right?
Yeah, Nolan Wieserak absolutely blew up the line of scrimmage there, created that hole. Absolute ridiculousness.
Handoff to Petalino. Look out!
Hello!
Big 7-4.
It's Jack. Jack McCarthy. Boom, right? Not getting out of that tackle. That's 6'2", 270. Playing both sides of the line.
His 8th tackle of the year. You said 6'2", 270. Bigger, stronger on that line is oftentimes a man amongst boys. That was a 1-yard loss on first down. Fake handoff. Gargiulo runs right under pressure, throws it. He finds Brooks. There is a flag, though, on the play.
I mean, we've done a lot of Massapequa games this year. Like, you just don't expect an incomplete pass. Over 80%.
But also all of those guys, right? Soap, they all eat. Burns, Vialta, even Gavin Farley, the first-year starter, the senior.
Yeah, a lot of these guys are like Swiss Army knives, right? Joe Brooks is a captain, an offensive, move him around. He knows all the plays at all the positions.
So Bob Miller says that flag is against the Dalers. It was a holding penalty. Kevin Shippo says we'll decline that as we've got a 1st and goal.
I love that by Gargiulo, right? He was getting some pressure. I think it might have, in his face, and he stood in, took a hit. Accurate ball to Brooks.
So Danilo is to the left. And here comes Gargiulo following the blockers into the end zone. Touchdown, Massapequa.
Yeah, follow Wiezorek, follow Danilo. They'll lead you to the end zone, young man. Gargiulo getting it done. He loves Josh Allen, a little Jackson Dart as well. Shows off his legs there. Watch 52 lead the way, 47, boom. Could have drove a school bus through that hole. Unbelievable job. Great start for the Chiefs offensively.
Bichetta on to kick. It is Brooks to hold. Danilo is your long snapper. He's back again, Danilo, as a long snapper, as that kick is up and good, as it is Massapequa jumping in front 7-0 with 3 minutes left in this first quarter.
Yeah, how about Bichetta? 31 for 32 now on the PAT. None more important than that one last year to win the game at Hofstra.
Well, we mentioned Massapequa has won the last 3. We go back to the first of those 3. This was here. And look at some of these highlights here. This was a low-scoring game. Tyler Vialta, 16 carries for 125 and 2 touchdowns, including that 54-yard score. But Sal Pasilico had the answer here. This 3-yard touchdown run, that is in overtime. So Vialta with the response. A 1-yard touchdown run. And Shippo says, let's go for 2. We're getting out of town.
Give me 2.
Vialta says, I got you, coach. Tucks it under, and Massapequa wins it on the road. An epic game there 2 years ago.
Yeah, Tyler Vialta, unbelievable. Had, 33 touchdowns last year and didn't win the Thorpe Award, right? You had Martini, you had Vialta, you had Kama. 3 unbelievable running backs.
So after that game, I texted Shippo. So I'm like, listen, I love what you did there. Even if you didn't get the 2-point, the confidence you had. Like, I'm trying to get him all excited and get him pumped. He's like, listen, I just wanted to get out of here.
Yeah.
He's like, there were penalties. It was sloppy. I was done. But another magic moment in this terrific rivalry. Here's Bichetta. This is a returnable kick. And it will be so at the 10-yard line. That looks to be Jacob Gould along that far side. I think I saw our number 1 in green. As it will be Farmingdale to start at about their own 25-yard line.
So it wasn't a turnover that stunted that drive. It was a penalty, right? It was a big penalty that stopped that big Kama run, allowed for the punt, setting up a scoring drive.
And there you saw Buddy Krumanacher a moment ago. Apologies, that was Aiden Squitieri, 17. I did see a 1, but I missed the 7 there. So how will Farmingdale respond here on their second drive of this game? You see 21. Kama, I think the question, once we heard he was going to play, was now how much would he play in this one? He gets the handoff, runs this way, and you can see the physicality, right? He got wrapped up about 3 yards before that, but he just kept squirming and pushing to get a few extra yards.
Yeah, Kama's an absolute beast, right? 385 bench press, over 400 on the squat. But Danilo, good job setting that edge, allowing for a shorter gain.
Gain of about 3 on first down.
I think that's the great thing about it. You talk to people that like, we want Kama to play, even the Massapequa people. It's like, like they want the best on best. That's what you want today, and it's great to see him out there.
But also not easy decisions, right, for the Farmingdale coaching staff. It's, is it one of those situations, do you lose the battle, potentially win the war? As there he goes, running the outside. Terrific tackle right at the legs by 42. That's the younger Tarasi, Giovanni.
Yeah, he's built a little different, right? A little longer. But that's Vialta.
Oh, my bad. I see 42 coming in at the end.
Yeah, Vialta just loves the big game. Great tackle, one-on-one tackle with Kama in the hole. Now 12 tackles coming into the game for Cole.
So this will bring up about a 3rd and 3 here for the Dalers. Twin receivers at the bottom of your screen. Toto, toss inside. That's a great decision to go to Mateo Morales for the first down.
Yeah, Morales, senior, 6'2". Known more for his blocking. You see him get the carry here. Nice job reading the block. That was 70 leading the way. Aiden Thomas, 6'3", 240, gets after you. Similar to the way Morales plays defense. Nice call by Farmingdale.
And Morales, right, his main job is as a blocking tight end, right? But listen, he's a guy, they want to get him the touches. And there you see a good one to get.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns on the year, catching the ball, 7 grabs.
Inside the final minute of this first quarter. Here's Toto. Tucks it, now looks for Kama. Makes the catch past the 50. That's a first down as Petalino on the tackle.
Yeah, Kama has 1 receiving touchdown on the year. Great hands to catch this in traffic. See Thomas leading the way. Brooks tries to jump up and get it. That's a great catch, showing off his hands by Josh Kama. Uncommitted still. What are they waiting for?
1st and 10 from the Massapequa 48-yard line. Couple of claps there by Toto.
You've seen Toto pretty comfortable rolling out to his left as a left-handed quarterback.
And they will not have another play here in the first quarter. Farmingdale gets past the 50, but it's Massapequa who score first. Luke Gargiulo. Let's follow the big boys, why don't we? 6-yard touchdown run. Dad Rich somewhere on the opposite sideline. Happy to see his son find the end zone. 7-0 Chiefs in this, one of the greatest rivalries on Long Island. Second quarter coming up next on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
What's up, it's Sean Lights Out Merriman, former Charger and Bill, and you're watching Varsity Media.
Help keep Varsity Media's broadcasts free on YouTube by considering an advertising sponsorship. Our coverage of local games helps local businesses get visibility in the community. To learn more about our sponsorship packages and rates, email ben@varsitymedia.net.
High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships.
Back here at Don Snyder Stadium, the Farmingdale cheerleaders in the house. Cheerleaders for both teams, bands. It's what makes high school football so special. Dylan Butler alongside Brian Soper.
These two schools do it as better than most, right? Massapequa, Farmingdale, great communities, great schools, great alumni.
Massapequa a 7-0 lead. They struck first. You saw that Luke Gargiulo 6-yard touchdown run.
Yeah, that's his 15th touchdown on the year, his 5th rushing.
There's a little extra time here. We'll take another look, Soap, at Gargiulo's 6-yard score.
Yeah, good job. You see Wieserak pulling, Danilo as well, clearing away into the end zone. It's always good to get that first score, especially on the road. Give yourself a lead.
But now Kevin Shippos, and he's a guy, as the head coach, he's also running the defense, right? And he loves the chess match of having to deal with the Farmingdale offensive line, right? And they do so many different things that are, I think, unique to what you see in Nassau Conference 1. And that's part of what Shippo says was one of the special things about this matchup, right? 4 out of the 5 offensive linemen returning. He says, you know, the way that those guys pull out on the perimeter, they do a great job with their schemes and blocking. It's a little more sophisticated than most offensive lines with the trap schemes and the way they pull not just the guard, but also the tackle and the tight end. So there's a lot to prepare for if you are Massapequa when it comes to Farmingdale week. Now, one thing, Soap, when we spoke with both of these coaching staffs, it was, all right, what does that mean about Massapequa week or Farmingdale week? And both were pretty close to the vest. Like, listen, these are high school kids. They know what's at stake. But their jobs as coaches is to try their best to treat this like another game on the schedule. It's not the last game. It might not even be the last meeting between these two teams, but you've got to treat this one like it is another game.
Yeah, on both sides of the ball, offensive, defensively, these teams are coached up as good as you can get. And they're just like, don't forget what you've been coached, right? Don't let the emotion kind of get ahead of you, start doing things that you're not coached to do, because you got to trust the process, trust the staff. These are winning programs for a reason, so well prepared.
So the field is shifted now as the Dalers will go from left to right on your screen. And it is trips right for Farmingdale.
Yeah, so a lot of the plays by Farmingdale have been right around the line of scrimmage, even the passing. Let's see if they try to maybe open up a little bit and try to get a big play.
Well, generally their guy to do that is Patrick Vidot. He could really slice open a defense. That one over the middle. Vialta, another tackle. But that's a first down reception by Jack Watros.
There's that arm. There's the arm of Toto, just a sophomore. Left-handed, accurate. Watch him squeeze this ball in there on a rope. Just, you know, the only guy who could catch that was Watros.
So first down at the 34-yard line of Massapequa.
Watros in the backfield.
Fake handoff goes his way. The pitch to right. Here's Theodate. Brooks at the ankles makes the tackle at the 30.
Yeah, you see those packages. Nice job holding on to it to the very last second. I think Wieserek came in here, hit the quarterback. Smart play, giving it to Theodate, able to get a few yards out of a play that looked like it might go for a loss.
A good ankle tackle there, too, by Brooks. Smart, high football IQ.
Yeah, shockingly, he wants to get into education. You can tell that. He's a QB. You know, he knows everything from QB to defense to offense. He knows it all.
Here's Theodate again, and look out. Blown up.
It's the Van Schuyler.
Double nickels. Van Schuyler, 2-year starter on this defensive line.
Yeah, he's like the defensive line, offensive line glue. Just unbelievable. Sticks to Theodate there. Baseball player, very vocal. The kids on the team absolutely love him. And what's not to love when you make a hit like that?
So it sets up a 3rd and 8 now for the Dalers. And you consider where you are on the field. And a little bit, I think, out of J.J. Damo's range for a field goal. You're in 4-down territory.
Yeah, you see Theodate out wide. He's a weapon in the passing game as well.
So Buddy Krummenacher and his staff will talk things over here. The first timeout utilized this afternoon for either team, which gives us a chance to remind everybody that the Nassau County playoffs, they live right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. We are your home for the semifinals. For the semifinals at Stewart Stadium, where we will be camping out, you want to go to varsitymediapass.com to order. This is for the Nassau football semifinals. The finals will be ungated, and that'll be on the Varsity Media YouTube page, but go to varsitymediapass.com to order any of those great semifinals. And again, if you project things the way that we think they're going to be, the way that they've shown through 5 weeks of football, you want to watch that 2-3 matchup in Nassau Conference 1, because it's going to be one of these two teams, and it's likely going to be Oceanside as well.
It's going to be hard to top last year's playoffs, but it's interesting. It's a little chess match, too. Like, these teams are going to play each other. Do you throw every play out there? Do you show your entire hand today, knowing that you might meet again? But it is big stakes here to get that 1 seed.
So the Dalers here, you don't necessarily have to get all 8 yards here. Because, again, you're 4-down territory. Pressure comes. Toto ducks under it, runs up the middle, slides inside the 25-yard line. I think he'll be about a yard short.
That's what makes Kama special. Not only can he run, he can also block as well. He has a nice block on the edge here to free Toto to get very close to a first down.
So Farmingdale, I think, essentially will make this their goal line package. You've got Kama. You've got Theodate. And also you can go quarterback keeper with Toto. That's what they'll do. Pushes forward, and when you got those big dudes up front, so you feel pretty confident in just ducking that ball and pushing yourself forward.
Yeah, it must be fun to run behind Kunz, right? Unbelievable job. Good push. Got that pretty easily.
We mentioned and we showed you those highlights of how many times Massapequa got a big 4th down conversion. The first one on this afternoon goes to Farmingdale.
Yeah, we saw Kunz, get highlighted in the beginning of the game. Scholar Athlete Award. Real smart, directs the offense. Easy call. Run behind me.
First and 10 from the 23-yard line.
Yeah, Balillo in the backfield, fullback, Thumper.
Talk about thumpers. How about Kama?
He looks pretty good, Dell.
He will move the chains on that 10-yard run. Josh Kama.
Yeah, first team all Long Island. Watch this little cut in the hole. Whoop, right? That's what he does really well. And he gets really low with his pads. It's real tough to tackle him in the open field. Kind of all you see are thighs.
Yeah, those are thighs the size of tree trunks. The football padding maybe takes away from a setup. When you see him on the lacrosse field, forget
I don't
about
know. See him in the wrestling ring must not be too fun either.
No, look at that huge hole. Now bounces to the outside, but nowhere, says Gio Tarazzi.
Yeah, one of many Tarazis to wear the Chief white, blue, and gold. Built a little different than his brother Tristan, 6'1", 185. Just an unbelievable job. He can play the run. He can play the pass. Just a very good defensive player. Super smart as well for Massapequa.
They got older brothers Anthony and Frankie. They both played for the Chiefs. So Gio, the 4th of the Tarazzi boys to put on that, today, white jersey. I was going to say with the maize and blue.
Yeah, you see Tristan out there. Good to see him. He didn't play against Port Washington. 4-time starter, all-county lineman, an absolute beast.
So gain of 2 on first down. This time it's Toto. Pushes himself forward.
Yeah, that was on cue, right? Tristan Tarazzi, 5'11", 215. Also a wrestler. Been playing football since he was 6 years old with the Mustangs. I don't think he likes the color green.
So it's a 3rd and 5 now for the Dalers.
Impressive drive by Farmingdale here. Love to punch it in.
But as you said, it's a Massapequa defense that has only given up 10 points per game.
Yeah, they also have a knack, right, to turn people over in the red zone. Got to make sure you secure the ball if you're Farmingdale.
And there you see Bolello now to the right hip of Toto as Theodate options out to the left. Toto under pressure. Sidearm throw. That was no good. And now it is decision time again for the Dalers.
They just bring pressure at the right time. That was Ryan Chabis with the pressure. D end kind of fits that Alex Chimelli role that he was on the team last year. 7.5 tackles, but a great pressure there.
So here's JJ Damo on to attempt the 25-yard field goal. Snap is good. The kick is up, and that is good. So you want to get something out of it, right? And that's what JJ Damo did there with that 25-yard field goal.
Yeah, important to get points. Good snap, great hold. Kicks it right through the uprights.
I'm impressed with his dad there holding the camera steady. Right, he's our end zone guy today.
Yeah, Mastrelli with the hold. Damos had a great career facing off lacrosse, kicking field goals.
And you see at halftime, we'll have it is in quotations for a reason, a special food review out at Sequa Deli and Catering. And we'll have some highlights and some analysis as well. Sequa Deli so named because you're kind of right on the border there of Seaford and Massapequa.
Yeah, Sequa and Pequa.
So JJ off of that 25-yard field goal has put the Dalers on the board at 7-3 with 5:52 left.
Yeah, great play, Ryan Chabis, right? Not pressuring that third down leads to a field goal.
Petalino among those deep. See Brooks as well, I think, on this near sideline. And it is Brooks inside the 20-yard line. Runs towards his sideline, looks for holes, now comes back this way. And about a 19-yard run there, actually I'll give him 20 for Joe Brooks.
Yeah, nice job by the special teams. Some really good blocking out there, allowing Brooks to get a good return all the way to the 40.
So Massapequa in this quarter, the first time on offense, right? Farmingdale's done a good job of controlling a lot of that clock, even if they don't have the lead.
Yeah, both teams kind of like methodically moving down the field, getting first downs. We had the one big play taken back by penalty, but we've saw Petalino run as well, but some good defense being played. Both these teams are averaging over 45 points a game.
Gargiulo with the empty backfield. Motions Danello left. He will follow 47 and continue his journey inside the 30. What a cut to the outside. Luke Gargiulo.
Hey, Petalino. Hey, Burns. Right, Gargiulo, go shake their hands. Unbelievable job. Look at this block on the outside. Watch 6, Petalino. Boom, great job. Watch the Burns block coming. Look out. Bam. Right, unbelievable job. Big runs by some big blocking. Huge play for the Chiefs.
Gargiulo on the year came into this game with 28 carries for 290 yards and 4 touchdowns. Another big play goes to the guys in white. First down and 10 from the 14-yard line. Gargiulo again. Short gain on first down.
Yeah, good job by Thomas Duffy. Kind of shakes off a Wieserick block. Makes Gargiulo go outside.
When we spoke with Colin Jones, he's like, what do they do with these QBs? He's like, you lose DSO, but they're like, just that's the next guy. We'll figure it out. Of course, Mike Spina does a great job as the quarterbacks coach there over at Massapequa, but also Kevin Schippo says we put our quarterbacks in good positions to make good plays.
Yeah, Mike Amberry as well. Great offensive coordinator. Great play caller.
It was his call that led to that chief special we showed you that helped lead Pequa to that title game. Gargiulo tucks it under and gets a chunk of yards again inside the 5 now.
Great answer by Massapequa. Points on the board for the Dalers. You can't match, field goals and touchdowns. You got, touchdowns way more valuable.
This will be a 3rd and 1 inside the 5-yard line.
Yeah, Pedalino.
He's optioned out to the left. Hand off to Nello. Danello will just fall forward and move the chains. 1st and goal for Massapequa. How'd you like to be dealing with Danello at 6 foot 195, bringing some heat?
Danello, he's a SUNY Oswego baseball commit, but certain guys just play huge in big games, and Danello, every time we see him against the best competition, he brings his best. He's been fantastic this year.
1st and goal from the 3-yard line. So much of this drive has been Gargiulo's legs.
Changing the play.
Now in shotgun with Pedalino to his left hip. Hand off Pedalino. No problem for Pedalino.
Number 6, Andrew Pedalino, touchdown Massapequa.
Could drive a truck through that hole. Offensive line is doing a tremendous job creating these massive cutback lanes for the Chiefs. Pedalino untouched. Unbelievable job by the line. You saw Carlo Kurz in there, the senior. He's back after a foot issue. Unbelievable job by him, giving Pedalino some space.
Here's Bichetta for the PAT. He is 31 of 32 on the year. About as automatic as they come in Nassau County. He extends Massapequa's lead to 14-3. 3:55 left in the first half. More coming up next on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Parents, your support means everything to your athletes and to us at Varsity Media. To help us continue bringing you the best YouTube coverage of high school sports on Long Island, we invite business owners to consider a sponsorship on our broadcasts. If you own a business, consider a sponsorship for your athlete's team. It's a great way to show support, gain visibility, and keep the coverage going strong. Join us in making a difference. Contact Varsity Media today to learn more about broadcast sponsorship opportunities by emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
How about that look, huh? Spoke to one of the dads who had a 50-yard line, pretty much right by that walkway up to our press box here. I'm like, how early did you get here to get that spot, right? Prime real estate here in Farmingdale.
The Kelly Green.
Bichetta to kick off. You've got Squateri and Vidot deep. Vidot from the 5. Oh, man. Going nowhere. That's like a 2-point takedown in
Guess who?
wrestling. Vialta. And listen, so we mentioned, right, this is a terrific rivalry. It is Rivalry Saturday on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Not the only rivalry game we have for you. Check this out. Let's take a live look in Gold Star Stadium, Chaminade and St. Anthony's.
Yeah, great rivalry, whether it's any sport, right? These two teams, look to get after each other. But I think that the greatest thing about both these rivalries is the respect, right? They want to beat each other, but there's a ton of respect on both sides.
A year ago, Chaminade went to St. Anthony's.
Week 0.
First game of the year, and they get the win at Cy Donnelly. That was Tommy Claro's first game as head coach.
Yeah, how about that? Here I am. I'm arrived. You know, he played in the NFL. You probably rank his moments. He probably puts that one right up there.
Gotta be right up there.
Being an alum, come back, beat the Friars.
It's a Dailers ball from their own 18-yard line. Nothing doing there for Kama. Pushed backwards.
Yeah, I mean, can Gio Tarazzi have a better first half that he's having right now? Just unbelievable job, just so smart. They're not giving up that edge. They're not letting him get outside. The one time he did, it was because of a hold.
He will get a yard on first down, so it'll be a 2nd and 9 from the 19-yard line. It's a good thing there's a lot of room here at Don Snyder Stadium because the marching band is taking up practically the entire.
Just look, people are draped all over here. It's unbelievable. Packed house.
Yeah, after this play, I'm able to show you some of those scenes of the fans along the fence by the bands as it is Kama optioned out to his left. Toto goes that way, now goes over the middle. What a pass and what a catch, Mateo Morales.
I think he might have knocked it out. I think Vialta might have broken that one up.
Also knocked down one of our officials. Good to see him up right away. Let's take another look.
I mean, does he have a stunt double, Vialta? He's everywhere. Look at this. Big hit.
Oh, my goodness.
Unbelievable job, right? Those were two big boys meeting each other. Super impressed with Toto's accuracy. Put it right on Morales' hands. Just a better play by Cole Vialta.
There's a penalty on the play. That was declined. And if you're someone on Farmingdale, you're like, can we just get rid of these Vialtas?
Yeah.
We've seen enough of them. And there you see the band there getting ready for halftime here. Always must viewing at Don Snyder Stadium.
You know, the one word that's used for Vialta is rangy, right? And you saw it there, right? He's a big body, but he can move in space and able to, deliver a blow at the end.
I got a few more words or adjectives for him. Explosive, disruptive, right? A menace.
Leaves coal in your stocking.
Oh, I like that.
I think that's a big key, right? That play, now it's 3rd and long.
Yeah, 3rd and you're inside your own 20. Toto runs left. That one knocked down. 53 in white. Jack Mulligan. Hey, his future might be on the baseball diamond on the mound, but there he used his big paws to knock that one down.
Yeah, he thought he was on JV again as a tight end, right? He was going up to try to catch that one for a pick 6. But, man, they already had talent coming back. You add a sophomore like Mulligan into the mix who's been, maturing on a daily basis. You see the smartness there of him just getting up in the air.
Another penalty against the offense. Another one declined. It was an illegal motion penalty. So now it'll be Theodate to punt. Brooks and Vialta are deep for the Chiefs.
Yeah, this is danger zone right now for the Dailers. 2:29. Can't let the Chiefs score another one.
A high punt. attacked and fielded by Vialta. He called for a fair catch, and then at the last second, it's like, why did I just do that?
He had some space. It's okay. It's okay, Cole. You're doing pretty good.
Yeah. You've made enough big plays in this first half to be excused for one minor mental miscue. Let's take a look at some of our upcoming sportscasts. Hey, we stay on the gridiron. Fordham Prep and Holy Trinity. We head back to the Catholic High School Football League. Then a little Lynbrook, Cold Spring Harbor. As we inch closer, it seems crazy to think, but the playoffs are right around the corner.
That's going to be a tough game. Lynbrook, Cold Spring. Shout out to my buddy Bobby Campbell.
Big opportunity now for Massapequa, right, where you could really put some pressure on the Dalers here if you can get in the end zone again. That was Petalino with that first down run.
Yeah, good to see Holy Trinity coming up for us.
Another team in green.
Yeah, that's my buddy Bobby Campbell, played for Duke, quarterback. He wore the green for Holy Trinity.
One thing is for sure, I think when both coaches get their teams back, they're going to tell them, let's cut down on these penalties. That an offensive holding penalty, which will send Massapequa back into their own side of the 50-yard line.
Yeah, I think I think it's big for the Farmingdale defense to try to get off the field here.
There you see Bob Miller with the white hat.
Last year that Daler defense gave up 14.9 points a game. This year so far 25.2.
And the big thing from that, Soap, is they want to clean things up, especially in the secondary. And that's what you mentioned, you alluded to earlier, with Galgano back, maybe helping to shore things up in that defensive secondary.
So far, we've really seen the run, right? The big play run has been what's Massapequa. That's also a part of it, getting lined up correctly against this deceptive Chiefs offense.
So the Chiefs backed up to their own 48-yard line. It'll be a 1st and 15. It is Gargiulo again up the middle and gets a few of those yards back.
Yeah, Coons in on the tackle.
And also, if you're Massapequa, you could play with a little time and score, right, as well.
Yeah, you would love for the Dalers to not touch this ball and to put some points on the board.
You've got Burns at the bottom of your screen. Petalino coming this way as well.
Would not be shocked to see them take it. There we go with pass.
Gargiulo goes to the other side, and that is Danello. Gets close to that first down marker.
Yeah, Mastrelli came through on the line, but a great call by Ambery, setting up a screen. Kind of probably felt some pressure that was coming. Danello as sure-handed as you can get at tight end.
Yeah, Mike Ambery, the OC. Joe Esposito works with both lines. Spina, QB, and D-line. That's a run up the middle, which will move the chains and stop the clock, as it is Petalino to do so. You got Nick Tomasulo as well, working with the running backs and D-backs. And John Grant, his job, quality control.
Yeah, I love Petalino, man. He's 5'8", 165. Definitely a different look than Tyler Vialta, but very effective. Explosive runner, 7 touchdowns on the year, a captain, but really impressed with his physicality and getting through the line of scrimmage.
We take a look as we get an opportunity here. The last 4 years here for the Chiefs.
Just showing off now.
LICs in 2021, 23, and 24 all-time Long Island championships. That number is 5. Also won in 93, beating Longwood in 94. They beat Connecticut. An outstanding program. 8 undefeated seasons all-time for Massapequa. I'll take a look at the last 4 years now for Farmingdale. You see that 2021, the loss in the Conference 1 semis. 2022 was outstanding, right? That was the 1 year that wasn't Massapequa, right, since COVID. as Farmingdale went undefeated, winning that championship, another Rutgers Cup for them. And then since that, it's been heartbreak at Hofstra, right? In 23, it was Sean Dillon, the field goal for Syosset to walk things off. And last year, that aforementioned Chief Special and the PAT to send them home again from Stewart Stadium with a devastating defeat.
Yeah, they've met 6 times in county finals, going all the way back to 75.
Farmingdale leads that 4-2. Here's Bichette. Here is Gargiulo. Under pressure. That's a terrific throw. What a catch! Vialta at the 1.
They're going to put their hands up?
No, they're at the 1.
Are you kidding me, Luke Gargiulo? Rolls out again. Watch the blocking on the outside. You think he's going to go out of bounds? Nope. Unleashes an absolute missile down the field. Vialta's everywhere. What a big target. 6'3".
Omnipresent Cole Vialta.
He doesn't throw incompletions. It's insane. Rolling out to his right, to his left. QB1 Gargiulo, unbelievable.
First and goal from the 1. Petalino walks it in again. Back-to-back touchdowns from Petalino.
Yeah, follow the spider. Nolan Wiezarek, recently committed lacrosse to Richmond, absolutely paving the way for Petalino for a walk-in. Boom, you see him there. Spider has some bite.
And that was 5-2. Of course, his older brother, Ryan, a star here, both in football and lacrosse, now up at UMass.
Yeah, Coach Shippo just calls him a wrecking ball.
As Bichetta on to attempt the PAT. That kick is up, and it is good. And that's exactly what the Chiefs wanted to do. A big play from Gargiulo to Vialta sets up Petalino's 1-yard touchdown run. And the lead now is extended to 21-3 with 43 seconds left in this first half.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is 75,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck. For the latest news in high school sports, be sure to check out varsitymedia.net or follow us on social media at Varsity Media.
We're back here at Don Snyder Stadium. Terrific atmosphere for one of the best rivalries on Long Island. Dylan Butler, Brian Soper, and to this point, Soap, it has been all about the Chiefs from Massapequa, a 21-3 lead over the Dalers.
He's a really good quarterback in Oceanside, but that Don Snyder QB award went for DSO last year. Man, I can't be more impressed with Gargiulo so far this season.
And there's Bichetta. Terrific kicker as well for Massapequa. This one end over end, fielded at about the 10-yard line by Vidot. Gets about 19 yards, 20 yards on the return, and now Farmingdale on the field. Listen, they have lived with the big play, and if there was ever a time that they need a big play, it is now.
Yeah, they love, you got to stick to what you do. But it's hard, to keep pounding the rock if you're falling down 18 points. Would not be shocked, if we just go into the halftime, right, 21-3, not wanting to turn it over.
So Nick Toto will step back out onto the field, and he too the son of a former quarterback. His dad was a terrific quarterback in the late 90s at Cary High School, went on played at Sacred Heart. Handoff, up the middle. Excuse me, Theodate. Sorry about that, Jovins. Big first down run as the Dalers want to move quickly now.
Yeah, 5 touchdowns against Hempstead for Theodate, 6-1.
Back to Theodate. This time stopped at about the 45-yard line. Timeout, Dalers.
Yeah, Mulligan and Weezerak in on those tackle.
So timeout for the Dalers. 20 seconds left in this first half. You see the upcoming schedule for Farmingdale. You go to Port Washington, a team that Massapequa just beat. Then you finish up the regular season at home against Plainview JFK. So certainly winnable games for the Dalers after this one. And on the other side, Massapequa, their schedule, you take on a Syosset team that's always tough to take on, right? They've got some trickery and some screens. And then you go to Herrick's Wheatley to end the regular season on November 1st.
I think that's why the 1 seed kind of up for grabs in this game. Both teams will be favorites in all 4 of those games. You never know, but these teams usually take care of business.
And that's, again, it bears repeating. If you finish second in a top-heavy Conference 1, it's likely going to be a matchup of those shot. And both of these teams had epic games. Granted, they both beat the Sailors.
Yeah.
But I mean, super tight games.
Yeah, high-scoring affairs for sure. I don't know, maybe a trick play. We got one in the bag if you're the Dalers here.
Well, you also have Kama back in next to Toto. Toto tucks it under, runs up the middle, and you know what? He'll stop the clock here because he'll move the chains.
Yeah, nice job by him.
And right away, the Dalers want this ball on the turf with 10 seconds remaining in the first half. 1st and 10 from the 44-yard line. If somehow the Dalers can find the end zone, what a big momentum boost it will be on their, what I think is about a mile walk back to their high school from this football field. Trips right for Farmingdale.
Yeah.
Here comes Toto running this way. Look out! Hammered! Van Schuyler. And Toto looks banged up. Miller will throw a flag on the excessive celebration by Van Schuyler. But more concerning right now is Nick Toto.
Yeah, they would cover 3. Good job on the back end. Van Schuyler shoots through. Big hit. Toto hits the turf.
Kevin Shippos will argue the call by Bob Miller on the excessive celebration.
Now he's pointing that anger, I think, at his guys.
It's the emotion that you mentioned, right? So now Shippos not pleased with that penalty. It'll be assessed on the first play of the 3rd quarter. And that may be the only thing that Shippos has to be angry about in that first half. A terrific first 24 minutes for the Chiefs as they found all different ways. Gargiulo gets out of pressure. on his back foot, finds Vialta, and that led to Andrew Petalino. As Petalino, his second rushing touchdown of this first half. And at the break, it is Massapequa with a 21-3 lead in this, the 64th edition of one of Long Island's greatest rivalries. And it is all right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships.
Brian Soper here, live, Sequa Deli, Massapequa. Unbelievable deli, about to get myself a sandwich, right? Football, what goes better than a nice sandwich? Joey, the quarterback, Joey Diesel, right? What are you doing? This is your spot?
Yes, of course this is my spot.
You got a favorite sandwich?
Of course.
Let's go.
So try it.
Sure you got this?
Yeah, I got it.
All right, order it up. I'll take two.
Let me get lightly toasted ciabatta bread with prosciutto, pepperoni, tomato, fresh mutts, and olive oil.
What, has a name?
I don't know.
I think it's a Chief Special.
That sounds good.
For all the marbles. Little Chief Special. Little Chief Special. Fake it, run out. Dieso, all 5'8" of them. Jump ball. Oh my goodness. Two Chief Specials coming right up. Right, hand it to the QB. Let's go take a seat. Let's chop it up, all right?
Let's do it.
All right. How did that play come about? How did you guys, who came up with it? What was it called?
Our offensive coordinator, Mike Amberry, came up with it a few weeks before the game, and we really didn't know when we were going to use it. And we kind of just at the moment, we were just like, if we're going to go down, we're going to go down swinging. And so we pulled it out of our back pocket, and lucky enough, it worked.
Is it just touchdown all the way? It was 4th and 7. Was it touchdown or bust, or did he have a chance to run past? What was the mindset of Vialta?
Let's win it here and go home, honestly.
Touchdown or bust.
Yeah.
I love it. Right, let's dig in. Here's the spot. Right, unbelievable. Nice job. Nice and fresh ingredients. Right, it tastes unbelievable. Right, why do the Hungry Chiefs love this sandwich so much?
It's got a lot of Italian-based meats on it, and coming from Massapequa, there's a lot of Italian people, and we just love, and we take pride in that, and we love, our food. And so I just want to kind of express it by making a sandwich about it, and
Yeah, really. Anyone come in and ask for the Chief Special. Egg sandwiches here as well.
Yeah,
I mean, unbelievable, right? You talk about Sequa Deli. It's known. I'm a Hicksville guy originally, but I know about the Sequa Deli. I was excited to get over here today. As fresh ingredients as you can get that was the freshest play I've seen in a very, very long time. The thing I was thinking about the whole time about this is Vialta, lefty, right? He's a lefty.
Yeah.
Did everyone, was that part of Coach Amberry? Did he think that would throw people off?
Honestly, I don't really know if he thought that, but it seemed to throw some people off. No one really knew that Tyler was a lefty. It kind of took him by surprise.
Yeah, I looked it up. 10 to 12% of the world is left-handed, right? And Vialta's left-handed. He rolls out. You have the motion going that way. He rolls out lefty. How did it feel, right, with your teammates after that game? Beating Farmingdale, and also how did it feel? You had the hold, right? It was a tie, right? Was your heart beating out of your chest or what?
Definitely the most nerve-wracking hold I've ever had, but I've done it since 10 years old, and I was just like, one hold here, and we can go home and celebrate.
Right, and you followed up with lacrosse, right? Lacrosse and football. Is there something that's better or the same? What was the feeling?
Now, I gotta say that winning in lacrosse was definitely very exciting. I mean, winning 2 years in football was a great feeling, working hard for those past 2 years and coming out on top both years. Just winning and putting the team and the town back on top of the county.
So this is kind of like the Super Bowl again, Sequa Deli. If you want Super Bowl trays, right, order them up. But this is a Super Bowl. Everyone's waiting. What do you think? No Dieso at quarterback, no 11 in the backfield. What's your prediction for today's game? Dalers, Chiefs.
Two very talented teams, but I definitely have to go with my boys on Massapequa.
Joe, you know, we're buds now at Delphi, right? So we talk about football season, right? Sequa Deli, unbelievable job. Catering, acai bowls. You know, maybe one day you can invite me over, right? Yeah. We could have some trays of pasta, right? Some wings, right? And just dig into this great food, watch some football. Maybe I'll show you some of my older Delphi highlights or something like that. No better place to go-to place in Massapequa for catering, for fresh food. Just, you know, we were walking in today. The guy was talking about Farmingdale, Massapequa. It's a sports town. It's a sports community. And you know, he said, you guys got to win. All right. So this town's all about winning. And Sequa Deli is a winning tradition here, winning food. Just unbelievable job.
Hey parents, coaches, and players. Ever wonder what makes Varsity Media stand out as the tri-state leader in sports live streaming and videography?
If you're looking to optimize your sporting event, look no further than Varsity Media's coverage. Since working with them over the course of the past 4 years through the Elite 5 New York City Football Showcase, their coverage has helped take us to the top.
Varsity Media does an unbelievable job in terms of the broadcast, backgrounds on kids, do a great job in exposure from top to bottom. I couldn't really say anything negative. It's been a great couple of years that we've been working together, and it's just fantastic.
Well, I'll tell you, the fact that you guys are here has helped grow it, really. I mean, Varsity Media has been a good partner with us now for the last couple of years. That brings this game to a much broader audience.
The level of detail and that you go to, I mean, obviously the announcers, the camera angles, the slow motions, I mean, you feel like it's being covered by, ESPN.
If you'd like to book with Varsity Media, reach out at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Now is a great time to book a sportscast with Varsity Media. What sets our sportscast apart isn't just the quality of our production, it's the knowledge, passion, and professionalism that our announcers bring to every game.
It's Merrill. Oh, look at a fake by Merrill. There's the spin again. Gary Merrill is not human. Touchdown, St. Anthony. Profeta! 1-0, Garden City.
Our commentators research athletes and highlight storylines that matter to your communities. Our approach creates a broadcast experience that not only informs, but elevates the athletes, giving the kind of recognition usually reserved for professional levels. Varsity Media's announcers make sure that every athlete has their moment. So book a Varsity Media sportscast today, and let's get your team the recognition it deserves.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media @Varsity Media.
You've seen the dedication, the long hours, the early mornings, the sacrifice. You know your athlete has what it takes, but how do you make sure the right people see it? The recruiting process isn't easy. Coaches are flooded with highlights, but how do you stand out in the crowd? At Varsity Media, we specialize in creating game-changing ISO videos, high-definition, athlete-focused footage that highlights exactly what college recruiters want to see. With our up-close ISO video, we capture your athletes' key moments. No more wide angles showing other players. This is just your athlete's pure, raw talent. This is more than a video. This is the opportunity your athlete deserves. Give your athlete the edge they need. Make the right impression with Varsity Media's ISO video service. The future starts now. Parents, your support means everything to your athletes and to us at Varsity Media. To help us continue bringing you the best YouTube coverage of high school sports on Long Island, we invite business owners to consider a sponsorship on our broadcasts. If you own a business, consider a sponsorship for your athlete's team. It's a great way to show support, gain visibility, and keep the coverage going strong. Join us in making a difference. Contact Varsity Media today to learn more about broadcast sponsorship opportunities by emailing ben@varsitymedia.net. You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships. Hey parents, coaches, and players. Ever wonder what makes Varsity Media stand out as the tri-state leader in sports live streaming and videography?
If you're looking to optimize your sporting event, look no further than Varsity Media's coverage. Since working with them over the course of the past 4 years through the Elite 5 New York City Football Showcase, their coverage has helped take us to the top.
Varsity Media does an unbelievable job in terms of the broadcast, backgrounds on kids, do a great job of exposure from top to bottom. I couldn't really say anything negative. It's been a great couple of years that we've been working together, and it's just fantastic.
Well, I'll tell you, the fact that you guys are here has helped grow it, really. I mean, Varsity Media has been a good partner with us now for the last couple of years. That brings this game to a much broader audience.
The level of detail and that you go to, I mean, obviously the announcers, the camera angles, the slow motions, I mean, you feel like it's being covered by, ESPN.
If you'd like to book with Varsity Media, reach out at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Now is a great time to book a sportscast with Varsity Media. What sets our sportscast apart isn't just the quality of our production, it's the knowledge, passion, and professionalism that our announcers bring to every game.
It's Merrill. Oh, look at a fake by Merrill. There's the spin again. Gary Merrill is not human. Touchdown, St. Anthony. Profeta! 1-0, Garden City.
Our commentators research athletes and highlight storylines that matter to your communities. Our approach creates a broadcast experience that not only informs, but elevates the athletes, giving the kind of recognition usually reserved for professional levels. Varsity Media's announcers make sure that every athlete has their moment. So book a Varsity Media Sportscast today, and let's get your team the recognition it deserves.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media at Varsity Media.
You've seen the dedication, the long hours, the early mornings, the sacrifice. You know your athlete has what it takes, but how do you make sure the right people see it? The recruiting process isn't easy. Coaches are flooded with highlights, but how do you stand out in the crowd? At Varsity Media, we specialize in creating game-changing ISO videos, high-definition, athlete-focused footage that highlights exactly what college recruiters want to see. With our up-close ISO video, we capture your athletes' key moments. No more wide angles showing other players. This is just your athlete's pure, raw talent. This is more than a video. This is the opportunity your athlete deserves. Give your athlete the edge they need. Make the right impression with Varsity Media's ISO video service. The future starts now. Parents, your support means everything to your athletes and to us at Varsity Media. To help us continue bringing you the best YouTube coverage of high school sports on Long Island, we invite business owners to consider a sponsorship on our broadcasts. If you own a business, consider a sponsorship for your athlete's team. It's a great way to show support, gain visibility, and keep the coverage going strong. Join us in making a difference. Contact Varsity Media today to learn more about broadcast sponsorship opportunities by emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
Back here at Farmingdale, you see the terrific marching band here at Farmingdale. What a halftime performance that they put on in front of a packed house here at Don Snyder Stadium. Dylan Butler alongside Brian Soper. First of all, props to the bands. Man, they always deliver, certainly on game day, a terrific performance.
Yeah, but the best halftime performance I think I've ever seen at a high school football game. You know, shout out to, rest in peace, Gina Pelletieri. Did a lot with the marching band here, a graduate of 1997, Hicksville with me. Tragically lost in that bus accident. She's smiling down. That was, I think the name of the show was The Time of Your Life, and that was amazing.
They have a cool bench as you walk in here at Farmingdale for her and in memory of her.
Yeah, and B. Ferrari as well, longtime educator. That was unbelievable. That was speed. I got chills, right? I got chills from that halftime show. It was amazing.
First half, it belonged to those guys, right? Massapequa, they got out right away. They jumped in front, and they really never looked back. Let's start things off here with Luke Gargiulo, a 6-yard touchdown run.
Yeah, his arm, his legs, he does it all, this kid.
So that was 7-0, 3 minutes left, first quarter. J.J. Damo, that's a 25-yard field goal. So the Dalers on the scoreboard, 7-3, but then a lot of Andrew Pedalino here with a couple of short distance touchdown runs.
Yeah, some big plays, a Gargiulo run and a pass completion to Vialta sets these things up.
And that's the second, a 3-yard touchdown run, a 1-yard touchdown run, and that's how we get to where we are, 21-3 for the Chiefs. An extended halftime for both of these. Always interesting to kind of see how that affects the game state. But certainly if you're Massapequa, rinse and repeat what you've done. Cole Vialta was an absolute beast in that first half. And I'm kind of watching here. Michael Gargiulo, first game back, but looks like he might be done here for the game. I saw him come off looking injured, doesn't have his helmet on, not with the team. That's going to be a really tough blow for the Dalers.
Yeah, both offense and defense. Hope he's all right. Obviously, playoffs in mind. No use risking it, but just super impressed by the Chiefs, right? They are the most complete team out there. Offense, defense, special teams, all on display. Penalty at the end of that half, I'm sure, gave the coaching staff something to talk to them about and make sure they stay focused starting the half.
Yeah, if you're Alex Van Skyler, the last thing you want to do is get Kevin Shippos angry at the very end of the court at the half, because now you've got to hear it for probably a good chunk of that extended halftime.
Yeah, the Penn State wrestler comes out.
So, again, that penalty was assessed at the start of this third quarter. So Damo here, you could play some games with this maybe if you want, if you're Farmingdale, if you're feeling aggressive, maybe onside something, but more likely than not, you would think this goes for a touchback.
Yeah, make the Chiefs drive a long field.
And that's what will be the case, as it was Jason LaRosa fielding the ball in the end zone. So it'll be Massapequa offense to get things started. And if you are Farmingdale, this is a must stop here on this first drive of the second half. So many guys, right, have stepped up in that first half for those Chiefs. You see 88. Tyler Burns, his blocking on the outside, instrumental in some of those big plays. Pedalino delivered, of course, Gargiulo as well.
Yeah, big plays in the run. Great job by the line. Another clean game, a half, right? No turnovers.
Danilo in motion. Gargiulo will follow. 47 now cuts it inside. And a short gain, if any, for the junior QB.
Yeah, good start for the Farmingdale defense. Seen Gargiulo be able to rip off some big runs on that same play, running behind Danilo, Mulligan, Wieserak.
So it was a gain of 1 on first down. Burns at the bottom of your screen as the lone receiver.
Yeah, I think Farmingdale was concerned about matching up with these receivers on the big size. So far, hasn't really played out. They have had so much success on the ground.
Gargiulo faked the handoff on the jet sweep, took it himself, and he's taken down at about the 26-yard line, which will bring up a 3rd and 4.
Yeah, Aiden Thomas with the tackle. He was a bright spot for the Dalers, both on the D line as well as the offensive line in the first half. Be huge to get a 3rd down stop here.
A little hard count by Gargiulo, trying to draw the Dalers offside. And that's something we said, too, before the break, is probably both coaching staffs wanting their team to cut down on the penalties. Gargiulo back to pass, goes to the far sideline. And that's one of those big targets that you look for, right? Tyler Burns.
Yeah, it was only a matter of time until they used Burns. Huge height advantage. Colin Jones and the staff of Farmingdale said our corners are really good, but they're smaller. Well, nothing small about Burns, right? All 6'4" of them, UMass lacrosse commit. But again, the accuracy on display by Gargiulo. I think if you put an apple on Burns' head, right, he could throw it off there with his accuracy. Unbelievable job by him.
Now Burns pops up on the bottom of your screen.
You see the mismatch. You see the size difference on the outside.
Basketball guy too, right? So he knows how to post up. Gargiulo, little dump pass over the middle, and there's Danilo powering his way into Dalers territory. Another 1st down for the Chiefs.
Just unbelievable play calling, right? You hit a deep pass, right? Then you expect some pressure by the Dalers, and you hit them with a tight end middle screen. You see leading the way, Van Skyler, Wieserak, Petalino's out there, Burns. Huge play for the Chiefs.
There was a flag on the field. Bob Miller, though, indicates they will pick that flag up. So another 1st down for Massapequa.
Yeah, just the play calling is amazing, right? If we and you had bets, we say, what do you think they're going to run, right? I think we'd be wrong every single time. They hit him with the run, the pass.
Well, we just saw you at halftime with Joey Diesso talking about a Chiefs special. Who thought that was going to be the play call, right?
Yeah, unbelievable. Vialta.
And Petalino blows a tire. So it'll be a loss of 1. But I thought the questions you asked were perfect, right? In between bites of that Chiefs special at Sequa Deli where, who knew Vialta was a lefty, right?
For sure. Yeah, I was Italian for the afternoon, right? Soperini, right, was out there with Joey hanging out, eating some unbelievable food by the Sequa Deli. That was really, really fun. Shout out to Sequa Deli. Joey Diesso's here somewhere, even though his cousin Ben Bakirs is playing for Chaminade. I think he's here.
Trips left, handoff inside, going nowhere. Good job defensively there by that stout front of the Dalers.
Yeah, you got Petalino, Danilo, Tarazi. I think they know where the Sequa Deli is.
So another big play now for the Dalers defense, right? 3rd, and we'll call it 12. Gargiulo rolls to his right. Pressure comes his way, and he is sent down to the turf. Excellent pressure on the play. Was that Theodate?
Yeah, Theodate's come out of the locker room. A different person, right? He made that tackle on Danilo, maybe stopping a touchdown. Here he is with the pressure. Hey, Luke. Meet Jovan's Theodate.
So advantage Farmingdale there. They do get a stop. Field position, though, might not be great, or at least potentially might not be great, as Bichetta back to punt. It is Danilo, the holder. That's a good-looking punt. It'll be returned from about the 1-yard line by Mastrelli. Short gain for Cam.
Yeah, Bichetta's been awesome, right? 49 average on his punts. pin that one nice and deep.
So now the Dalers have that long field now to deal with on their first drive of the second half. We mentioned in the open, Josh Kama, the question was, would he be able to play? We did see Kama, Theodate as well. What they haven't been able to do, and again, credit, they did try it once, but Vialta was there to knock it down. They haven't been able to go over the top and kind of stretch out this Massapequa defense.
Yeah, everything's been at the line of scrimmage, right, a few yards off of it. We had the one play knocked down by Vialta, probably the longest play passing-wise, but definitely a lot of guys crowding the line of scrimmage if you're Massapequa.
1st and 10 from the Dalers' 13-yard line. And there's that handoff. It's a draw. Here comes Kama trying to cut it to the outside. But again, it's a host of Chiefs in on the tackle. Wieserak among them.
He has been as good as advertised in the first half and now both on the D-line and the offensive line. Just great discipline and just relentless pursuit by him. You see that motor that he's known for. You know, honorable mention All-American lacrosse player last year as just a sophomore. Wreaks havoc on the gridiron.
And he's got that mean streak in him as well, which you want to see, certainly from a guy playing his middle linebacker position.
You know, like everyone knows Kama, but it's like a challenge. Like if you think you're an athlete, if you think you're a big boy, right, here's your chance to prove it by tackling a guy like 2-1 in the backfield.
A loss of 2 on that play. Here's Kama, cuts it inside. And again, tough sledding for Josh Kama this afternoon. And we mentioned it before, right? He runs for video game-like numbers, 495 yards and 7 touchdowns. That's a Long Island record for yardage in a game. Ties the school record with those 7 touchdowns against Oceanside. There hasn't been a team that has limited him. Again, he is a bit banged up in this one. But the Chiefs, it seems like certainly that was a big part of their defensive game plan, right? Like, don't let 2-1 hurt you.
Yeah, 7 touchdowns in a game, tied, Jordan McClune, right, 2016 Thorpe Award winner, plays at Maine, 11.3 average a carry last year, school records.
A 3rd and 9. Toto has the time over the middle. There's that big pass they were looking for. And again, it seems like when they need something in the air, it's Waltros who makes the catch.
Yeah, 2 sophomores, right, throwing it to each other. The future's bright, the present's bright. 2 sophomores hooking up here. Unbelievable job. He's shown the ability to get open. Uh-oh.
And Kama breaks a tackle past the 50. Was looking for some blockers, pushed out of bounds by Joe Brooks. This is the first big run that Kama's had, at least that wasn't called back on a penalty.
Yeah, you see when he runs, he's looking for contact, right? He's looking for someone to hit. Just an unbelievable run there, special talent.
And I think, too, he's patient as well, right? Looking to see, can I get another blocker upfield?
Yeah, you see it on display here. Nice job by the line, getting him free. Good job by Brooks, limiting him.
Hey, our on-field camera person, Ron Pierre, knows how big a dude Josh Kama is. He's like, I don't want that heat. First down, Kama goes the other way. Now tries to cut it inside, and again, a bunch of Chiefs in on that tackle, which resorts in a short gain on first down.
Yeah, led by Danello. The crazy thing is, you'd think like 495, like that's got to be like the New York State record. It's not. It's 593 yards. Adam Nunes, but Kama broke Nathaniel Griffith, great running back for North Bab. 2022 49 was the previous number.
Well, but I loved what he did most in that game was he could have
scored
walked
again,
in,
yeah.
got that 8th touchdown. He got himself out of bounds at the 1 because Oceanside had no timeouts left, so the Dalers were able to take a knee and end the game and win the game on the road.
Yeah, when you're looking up stats and like you see Kama and his name is near Jason Gwaltney, those are that name for Long Island running backs, unbelievable.
Toto was looking for Bolello, went over his shoulder, incomplete.
Yeah, Bolillo, a lacrosse player as well, tough, battering ram type, junior.
And that was part of that contingency plan that you mentioned, right? Bolello comes in, changes the number today from 52, his usual number, to 40 to feature as a fullback.
Yeah, he was playing some line, right? He was battling with James Queen at the tackle spot. It's a big drive here. You would love to punch this in. Maybe you have a little momentum on defense.
Third and 10 for the Dalers. Handoff to Kama, follows Theodate, gets towards the outside, and he's forced out of bounds there by Michael Ippolito.
Been really impressed with Aiden Thomas. Mauler is a great way to describe him. Real physical at the point of attack. Gives Kama a little bit of space.
And they're going to call for the chains. That is how close this is to a first down. And what an important measurement this is, Husso.
Yeah, I mean, either way, you're going to go for it, but it would be nice to kind of get a clean set of downs here. This drive is so important.
We're gonna look at it here.
That's a superstar chain crew. Looks like Kenny Garcia, Dave Stein.
How about that look from Ron Pierre?
Great coach.
First down.
Great coaches in their own right on the chain gang.
Now just make sure nobody steps on those chains. Good job. So Kama gets the first down as the Dalers continue this drive. Now at the Chiefs 27. Morales options out to the right as a blocker for Kama. Kama gets past a few blockers, continues on his feet inside the 10-yard line.
He's starting to feel it, right? They're feeding 21. He's bouncing off tackles, hitting the hole. Great job by the O-line, creating a nice seam for him, and then he gets into the secondary and takes on cornerbacks and safeties. Like, he's bigger than those boys.
I feel that that's when you realize, yeah, he's feeling all right.
He's different.
So first and goal for the Dalers. From the 7-yard line. Back to Kama. He's kind of paused there at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, ran into Theodate, was on his block. Good job by the line, kind of stymieing the line of scrimmage. Allowed for Ryan Chabis to make another big tackle for the Chiefs defense.
That was like some traffic out there on Main Street.
Crowds are starting to get into it.
Yeah. Inevitably, you'll hear one of those, "What's a Daler?" and then you'll hear the "We can't hear you" on the other side. Though one would argue, yes, you can because you're responding, but. Second and goal for Farmingdale. Toto the pitch, Kama. Can he get past Danello? Danello still has him wrapped up and waits for his boys to finish off the tackle. Down low, too, is Petalino.
I think you're happy, right, if you're Shippos and the defense, right? You talk about gap integrity to limit the big explosive plays. We've seen a few of them, but we haven't seen that 50, 60-yard touchdown rip yet. But good job by Danello hanging on and letting the Chiefs come finish the job.
A third and goal now. From the 6.
Yeah, you see Schumeyer's out there now.
Toto looks at the sideline for the play call. Kama lines up to his right hip. Theodate in front of him. Theodate in motion. Toto tucks it under, and look out. The pressure comes. 5-2, Wieserak the first in.
Jack Mulligan as well, right? Him and Wieserak had a meeting at the quarterback. Just super impressed by Wieserak's been unstoppable, unguardable so far today. And then you see the sophomore Mulligan come in, finishing the job. Wieserak gets the sack.
Now it looks like the Dalers, they'll go for another field goal attempt here on 4th and goal. Damo has already hit a 25-yarder. And this is a fake. Mistrelli bounces it. Tried to find Toto, so no points for the Dalers inside Massapequa's 10-yard line.
Yeah, nice job. The Chiefs were all over that. It's a big win for the Chief defense. Kind of a, you know, there was some, you're feeling some momentum for Farmingdale, right? The band fired everyone up. The crowd was into it. To not get points on that drive has got to be a bit disheartening for the boys in green.
That speaks to your point earlier, Soap, right? Like, the Chiefs, they have that sort of bend but don't break mentality. Yeah, you can drive on us, but when we get inside the red zone, when we're inside our own 10, they are very difficult to beat.
And it's two guys, right? It's usually, you know, Danilo making a big stop, and then you have Wieserak as well, and it's every single time. It's consistently those guys step up at the big-time spots.
So Massapequa, they've got a 1st and 10 from their own 12-yard line. Here's Gargiulo faked it to Pedalino, faked me out as well. Takes it himself past the 15.
Yeah, keeps it. Nice job. You see Michael Bolello, what he could do. Comes up, makes a big hit. One of those guys who, when he hits somebody, it's just a little bit different, right? You see him bring his hard hat. Good job wrapping up.
And you know the message from the Farmingdale bench, like, all right, fine, that didn't work, but let's now pin them. Let's get that field position back, and maybe we can punch one in the end zone here.
Yeah, it's just the clock is your enemy right now.
Well, so too is number 6 in white, Andrew Pedalino, has already rushed for a couple of touchdowns, and he will now move the chains for the Chiefs.
Yeah, they've made a living running, you know, behind that right side of the line. You know, mentioned some of those guys. We've mentioned a bunch of. We haven't mentioned Tarazi enough, right? He's an unbelievable lineman.
And you saw 64 there as well, Aiden Alonzo, the young buck among that group.
Yeah, they say his feet are amazing, right? He's going to really dominate for years to come.
Now the run as Pedalino downed as we're inside that final minute.
Yeah, you see Schumacher come up, make a tackle. Another lacrosse guy, all-county player.
And the Chiefs won't even have to run a play here to end the quarter. So their offense was on full display in that first 2 quarters. We see a little bit of their defense here come up big in the third.
Yeah, just a really complete team. Kama gets the fake. Wieserak, Mulligan meet at the quarterback. Chiefs D, they bend, they don't break, and they're laying the lumber against the Dalers today.
You don't want a Mulligan in Farmingdale, that is for sure. 4th quarter coming up next. It's one of the greatest rivalries on Long Island, and it's live right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You've seen the dedication, the long hours, the early mornings, the sacrifice. You know your athlete has what it takes, but how do you make sure the right people see it? The recruiting process isn't easy. Coaches are flooded with highlights, but how do you stand out in the crowd? At Varsity Media, we specialize in creating game-changing ISO videos, high-definition, athlete-focused footage that highlights exactly what college recruiters want to see. With our up-close ISO video, we capture your athlete's key key moments. No more wide angles showing other players. This is just your athlete's pure, raw talent. This is more than a video. This is the opportunity your athlete deserves. Give your athlete the edge they need. Make the right impression with Varsity Media's ISO video service. The future starts now.
And back here at Don Snyder Stadium, fourth quarter about to begin. Dylan Butler, Brian Soper, our entire Varsity Media crew. That's Anthony Danello. Looking for a little tush push from those big boys up front. Soap, we mentioned him before. Let's take a look at that O-line from Massapequa.
They're athletic. They have great technique. They got a mix of seniors, juniors, and a couple of sophomores on the bookend. Jack Mulligan's been amazing. Wiezerik's been dominant today. Van Skyler, unbelievable leader, heart and soul of this team. Tarazi, mauler, wrestler, down and dirty in the trenches, and Aiden Alonzo. The future's bright for that kid.
You're going to bring in a little bit of Carlo Kurz as well. Lucas Benucci was a regular starter before he got injured. Here's Gargiulo. He can do no wrong today. Tyler Burns. First down and more for Massapequa.
Yeah, Burns, his blocking, he has great hands, 2 for 2. No drops from that kid, especially when this kid drops it in the bucket. You see the size disadvantage on the outside with the corners. Burns 6'4", plays big too. Huge energy guy for the Chiefs as well, 3-sport athlete.
1st and 10 from midfield for Massapequa. Time and score in their favor as Gargiulo scampers forward for a gain of about 8.
Yeah, you'll take 8 yards on first down all the time. Schumacher with the tackle.
A year ago, Luke Gargiulo was Joey Diesso's backup at quarterback. Also played wide receiver. Maybe if some around the island wondered, oh, what are you going to do now without Diesso at QB? The answer has been emphatic by Massapequa.
Yeah, everything was answered right. Again, a win against Oceanside. He accounted for 319 total yards versus Oceanside. Run pass, the kid can do it all.
Well, even before that, it was that Freeport game, first game of the year. As he goes long, a rare incomplete pass. The intended target was Gavin Farley, but it was that first game against Freeport, tore it up.
Yep.
And Chip was like, hey, we have another QB. And again, these guys, these QBs, I'm sure in between bites of that Chief special, Joey Diesso probably would have told you you're schemed up so well, right?
He loved his days in playing for the Chiefs. He loved playing for Coach Shippos. He loved the Amber's play calling. Just a perfect mix, just like that sandwich, that pepperoni. Unbelievable.
And now Petalino bringing some spiciness for this Massapequa attack, moves the chains again to the 35-yard line.
The thing is so different. It just shows you how, different sizes, right? I was shocked, right? Diesso played so big, right? And, not a big kid at all. And you see Gargiulo out there, 6 foot, 165, 170, still growing. Different look, right? But similar run-pass type of dynamic.
Vialta at the bottom of your screen as that lone receiver. But why not? Let's hand off again. This is Joey Brooks. And Brooks cut down by Schumacher.
Yeah, there's a wrestling theme with this Massapequa team. Just they're tough, right? Joe Brooks is a wrestler. Tarazi, unbelievable job by him. They're just tough and gritty. And Brooks, that was a 5-yard gain that could have been a loss.
I think in many ways, right? A lot of teams embody your head coach, right?
Yeah,
and that's what Kevin Shippos was in his day, whether it was at Baldwin, where his dad Steve was such a terrific coach, or at Penn State on the wrestling mats. Here's Brooks again, trying to follow the block of Aiden Alonzo. So a 3rd and 6. See big Jack McCarthy checking in as the Dalers desperate for a stop here.
Yeah, Jack McCarthy, I'll be watching the Instagram looking for some sort of commitment. He's going to play at the next level.
Oh, and you know what? He just jumped.
Jinx.
As you see the call there by Bob Miller, offside against the Dalers, which sets up a much more manageable 3rd and 1 now for the Chiefs.
Yeah, that's big. Chiefs don't need any help.
What I said to Shippos about maybe the rarity of streaks for either team in this series, one that Farmingdale leads all time. He said, well, listen, yes, I know we've won the last 3. We've been fortunate. 2 of those games go to overtime. But when I first started, you know, he won his first game as a head coach as Gargiulo gets the first down and some more. Luke Gargiulo, touchdown, Massapequa.
It's Gargiulo's world. We're just living in it, right? We have a firsthand watch, a look at some of the things that this kid is doing. He learned from Joey D'Esso, kind of his understudy. Gets through the line. This is all hard by him. Breaks a few tackles. Unbelievable job.
Gargiulo, a 26-yard touchdown run, his 2nd rushing touchdown of this game. As now it will be Danilo, your snapper, Brooks to hold for the sure-footed Bichetta. High snap, brought down well by Brooks, and the kick is through the uprights. A huge touchdown by Gargiulo extends this lead now to 28-3.
Yeah, I think Massapequa wasn't even sure what they had in the beginning in the preseason, and Gargiulo is just making every single play. He's accurate, he's tough, he can run, he can throw. He's a problem.
He is a problem. This is Rivalry Saturday on the Varsity Media Sports Network. We take a look at their other rivalry game we have. A live look-in from Gold Star Stadium in Mineola. Do we have a fumble here? I'm not sure. And we do. All going the way of the Friars in this one. Big lead over Chaminade. We even get a live look in on the replay. See Kevin Moore trying to apply some pressure right there.
Yeah, from behind.
Forced the fumble, the Delaware commit.
Yeah, he had a touchdown earlier, a touchdown catch when we looked in. He likes the Varsity Media look-ins, I think.
So St. Anthony's looking to beat their rivals, avenge last year's loss at home by beating Chaminade and Mineola. And man, the Catholic High School Football League was thrown on its head last night with Monsignor Farrell beating Iona Prep. You saw Iona Prep in person, man. I didn't know if there'd be a team in the league to beat them. Well, Rocco Del Priore's Lions did just that.
Yeah, Iona looked almost unbeatable, but they had a little bit of a slow first half against Chaminade, right? So maybe a little bit of a hangover there, but big win.
As Bichetta's kick, a returnable one from the 6-yard line. It's Vidot trying to go to the far sideline, and again, it's been a story throughout this day. Great pursuit of the football by Massapequa, whether it's on defense or now on specials.
Complete team. I think, when you look at the top 3 dogs, right, you have Farmingdale, Oceanside, you have Pequa. Pequa is just more complete right now. Not to say that it can change, but all systems go for the Massapequa Chiefs.
And you see right there, right? So what you're talking about, those are the standings. Those numbers on the right side of the standings, those are your power points. So you see that how massive this game is. 2 power points separating these 2 teams. Oceanside behind, and then a drop a little bit to Port Washington.
Hicksville at the bottom. Proud Comet.
So Farmingdale A lot of heavy lifting to do for the Dalers in this fourth quarter. Not a lot of time to do so. 7:39 left in this one. And that was Kama again with the run.
Yeah, I mean, if you do those bingo squares, or I don't think like not having a touchdown if you're Farmingdale was even in the consideration of possibility. But like we've said, the Massapequa defense gets real stingy inside the 20. Have done a good job limiting the Dalers.
And there's no doubt, and I'm sure when Kevin Shippos, who their head coach but also their DC, puts them to a challenge, they respond, right? And I'm sure part of that challenge was, again, don't let 21 get big runs, right? He even said it to us as one of his keys, limit explosive plays. His thinking was about 21, and it was about 6.
And I don't think he was happy with the points given up against Oceanside. That's a prolific offense, Coach Blunt. But then how do they respond? They respond a shutout against Port Washington and what they're doing today.
And you see what they're doing, too, to Kama there. He can't get a lot between the tackles. He's trying to bounce it to the outside. And, again, Massapequa was so good at rallying to the football.
Yeah, gap integrity has been on point. You know, it's one thing for coaches to say we're good as what our goal was during the week, but then to execute it, that's just, high-level players with high-level coaching.
And you had alluded to it earlier as well. Farmingdale came into this game undefeated with an offense averaging 47 points per game. They've been limited to a J.J. Damo 25-yard field goal in this one.
And without turning it over, right? They haven't turned it over to change possession. It's been stops on fourth down. They stopped that fake field goal.
Now Kama motions out to the left. He's your intended target. And that was dropped. Danello and Petalino in on coverage.
Those two names, right, have really led the way. Petalino, 2 touchdowns. Danello's kind of done it all. He's caught a pass. He's run the ball. Pass breakups. Run stopper. Again, pretty accurate pass by Toto, looking for Kama. Double coverage.
So Theodate back to punt. Vialta and Brooks are deep for Massapequa. Usually it is Kama to punt.
No fair catch there.
No, that was right from the 40-yard line, caught cleanly by Vialta. He'll get inside of Farmingdale's 40. So will these two teams meet again at Stewart Stadium? Most likely, if they do, it would be in the county final. But some terrific semifinals coming up next month, or really in a few weeks, on the Varsity Media Pass. You go to varsitymediapass.com to order. Again, this is for your semifinal matchups at Hofstra Stewart Stadium. Your championship games, that will live right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, Carey, Plain Edge. We had Wanto Bethpage last night.
Good luck trying to figure out Conference 3, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that thing is wide open. You would give Carey the edge, I think, right? They're continuing
DePietro.
their unbelievable undefeated season, but Southside is a tough out. They had a battle last night with Floral Park.
Yeah, Wanto brought their A game last night after a 2-game skid. They showed up and beat an undefeated Bethpage team last night.
And if these two teams do meet up at Stewart Stadium, it'll be the next chapter of this. You mentioned, right, 6 previous encounters in the championship game. Farmingdale has a 4-2 edge, but don't think they're celebrating that right now after last year's defeat.
It's amazing, right? I really think, like you see, look at the scores, right? Old school football, 14-7, 7-0. I think it kind of starts with Freeport. Oceanside's kind of done it. This kind of change in Conference 1, these kind of high-flying offenses, scores are getting higher, real fun, exciting football, and, Stewart Stadium will be no different. No more 3 yards in a cloud of dust.
There's no more clouds of dust with everybody get with the great turf
pellets.
Field. That was La Rosa on the jet sweep. Gets good blocking by Brooks.
Yeah, Brooks, and we see 80 Justin Farrell out there, the junior Michigan lacrosse commit. Nice job on his block as well.
And right now it is all about that clock if you are Massapequa.
I think that's the most impressive thing about the Chiefs offense. I think everyone just does their job. I think they take pride in getting a guy a first down. Doesn't have to be them. Their blocking downfield is really, really special.
2nd and 5 for Massapequa. Hand off La Rosa again.
Yeah, La Rosa coming into the game, junior, right? Not the biggest guy at 5'5", but 2 touchdowns on the year. You see his speed really at his best in the open field, getting some carries here in the 4th quarter.
He's been close, right, to breaking that big one. It came close against Oceanside in that epic win at Burner Middle School. Third and a long 2. High snap. La Rosa comes back our way, stumbles towards the 25 for the first down. New QB in for Massapequa. That's Blake Seidenstein. The sophomore has seen limited time, 5 carries, 70 yards, and a touchdown. You would expect so. Again, given time and score, his job is to pretty much hand off going forward.
Yeah, valuable experience, just taking some snaps, right, securing the ball. Confidence by the staff. Much earned rest by Gargiulo.
Go back again to La Rosa, and La Rosa runs the other way. Tries to turn the corner. Hit hard there by Watros.
Yeah, good job. Dom Antonelli out there, 82. Good job with his blocking. You see 17 out there. Dylan Milio, 6'1 junior, getting some time.
And he's that next guy, right, that Shippos is really high on, whether it's as a receiver or in that defensive secondary. Look out for Milio going forward. We've seen a bunch of subs now for both teams in these inside the final 3 minutes.
Yeah, Quelly Warren, 54 in there for the Dalers.
Back to La Rosa. And La Rosa will move the chains.
Yeah, sophomore Mike Verdi, 66 out there. Good block by him to get the first down.
So what will this mean going forward? So for, again, we said it would appear most likely this game for the top seed, right, in the postseason. So Massapequa, they'll be the 1. Farmingdale, if they take care of business down the stretch, which we expect them to do, to bounce back from this one, win their final 2 games, they'll be the 2. And then Oceanside most likely the 3. Now, who falls behind them? You know, Port we showed you in the standings. They're right there, but it is a top-heavy conference. As you mentioned, you just mentioned him a second ago, right? Big tackle by Warren.
I think if you're Farmingdale, I think your number one thing is to make sure Kama gets healthier. You would love to see Galgano be able to contribute down the stretch. So win those 2 games. You know, put this chip on your shoulder, right? And understand that you got to bring your lunch pail. You're going to have to go through Oceanside and then perhaps see these Chiefs again.
And you hope for a round 2, right? If you are Farmingdale, heck, even Shippo said we'd love to see these guys again because you see what it brings, right? The intensity of this rivalry as they will take a knee. It's a rivalry soap that started back in 1975. And that all-time series now 37, 25, and 2. And it is 4 straight wins for the boys from Massapequa.
Just a dominant, showing by Massapequa. Came in here, battle of undefeateds. This was a statement. Let's not sugarcoat it. This was a statement. This is a dominant win by the boys in white.
And for the second time in 3 years, Massapequa comes here and they win on the road. Not easy to win here at Don Snyder Stadium. This was a battle of undefeated teams. So Farmingdale gets their first loss of the year. And remarkably, now what is the number? 29-1 over their last 30 games for Massapequa. Talk about consistency, consistent excellence for Massapequa.
Yeah, just a consistent program, right? That's 407 wins for the program. And, they just feel a little bit different, a little bit better, I'm sure, if it's against the boys in green.
So as we said, about a 5-mile journey from Massapequa around this time of day. It might take them about 15 minutes, but they'll enjoy that short bus ride back home after their 4th consecutive win over Farmingdale. Impressive stuff from Massapequa. They improved to 6-0 on the year. Farmingdale now 5-1, and we all hope for a round 2 perhaps at Stewart Stadium. Well, the bands, yeah, they were on the field. They were playing some Sweet Caroline, but the sweet music on the field was played by number 16 in white, Luke Gargiulo. 1 of 2 rushing touchdowns on the game. J.J. Damo would get the lone points for the Dalers, but the defense, they came and they brought it, especially Nolan Wieserak. Cole Violta all over it as well. And then Luke Gargiulo puts the icing on a sweet, sweet victory cake for
Neil Diamond, the Chiefs.
That a 16-yard score. And that made it 28-3. For our entire Varsity Media crew, our executive producer, Ben Turchin, for our technical director, Chris Sweeney, for Ron Pierre, Jeff Damo, Kevin Colinato, bringing you all those unbelievable moving images. For my broadcast partner, Brian Soper, Dylan Butler, thanking you for joining us from Don Snyder Stadium. We will see you next time right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.